Hi everyone, welcome. Come on in. Welcome you to this journey of awakening session with Shakti Caterina Maggi. Come in and get your favourite seat. I'll introduce Shakti to you shortly, but in the meantime, let me just go over some housekeeping items that are no doubt becoming very familiar to you by now. We're recording the session, so please be aware of that. There will be an opportunity for question and answer. And when you're invited to ask questions, you can either raise your hand in the raise hand function, or you can type your question in the chat with a capital Q. You can toggle between speaker view and gallery view for the best viewing experience. And can I ask you that if you are eating or you're engaged in another activity, if you're distracted, that you switch off your camera so that we have a nice clean video. We do have the chat function switched on, but let's just use it for questions rather than greeting each other or whatever, just so that we can give our full attention to Shakti. So let me introduce Shakti to you. Shakti Caterina Maggi is a spiritual teacher who teaches non-duality as a passionate self-inquiry to embody in our everyday a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world as one consciousness. And Shakti's session today is called Embodying Awakening, the importance of transforming understanding into experience. And Shakti will be speaking about how we have to embody our spiritual understanding into our everyday life by meeting life itself as the ultimate teacher. So this is a 90-minute session. There will be satsang with Shakti, and then, as I said, the opportunity for question and answer. So welcome, Shakti. It's lovely to see you again. I always love being with you. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan, and welcome to everybody. I'm so honored to be again speaking at these lovely gatherings that collect so many spiritual seekers from around the world. So welcome, everybody. We start our session today with a moment of meditation together. If you can, sit on the ground and following the meetings, this initial meditation sitting on the floor, it would be recommendable. If it's not possible for you logistically, or you are too old, or you have pains, you can stay on your chair. But let's stay a moment collected together. Just close your eyes. Maybe the palms of your hands are facing upwards, maybe collected one on top of each other, just forming like a little cup on your laps, or just loose open on your knees as it's more comfortable to you. The eyes are closed, but the gaze is here in this point in the middle of the forehead. Just let your gentle attention be here as you are, present to you as awareness. And become aware of your own presence as awareness. As awareness, you are present to your body, all physical sensations, any tension that might be present in the body. You're present to your mind, thoughts and feelings move rapidly, maybe with images or with words. Be present to your surrounding, maybe the temperature of the body or the room, or the noises in your room, and for sure, the sound of this voice talking. But also present to that. So allow the body, the mind, your surroundings, including this voice, to be something you are aware of. Very gently, very naturally. And then be aware also of you as awareness. Be aware of the fact there is something in you that is present to these experiences. You as awareness is what is present. And remain like this, including in your own awareness the play of the body-mind, the play of the environment, and see clearly that all these experiences that seem to be external and internal are actually happening in you. You are what is aware of them. As such, as awareness that is aware, the body, the mind, the environment, the world is an experience. This experience is changing all the time. Notice this. But you, as awareness, you're not changing. You are simply the presence that includes all these changes. And find in this presence a silence, a peace that can welcome and include anything with no effort. As awareness, you are completely and utterly at peace. Look for where you are and discover how, as awareness, you are everywhere and nowhere at the same time. You are the heart. You are the heart of being. Same one for any human being on the planet, for any being on the planet, animal, plant, or otherwise, any being that's ever existed and will ever exist. This is the same one. Abide as this a moment more. And gently, very gently and slowly, open your eyes, but remain centered in the heart. View from this aware presence anything you are seeing right now, forms, colors. Aware of your experience and at the same time aware of what in you is aware. In our spiritual journey, we look all the time for a reference point. As Westerners, our reference point is usually in the mind. It's our strong belief that through knowing and accumulating knowledge, we will be grasping what we will try to attain. So the accumulation of notions is something that is dearly considered as spiritual seekers, especially in the West. Reading books, listening to teachings, watching videos, creating a clarity in the mind that allow us to disregard what we are not. This clarity allows us to let go of false concepts that don't correspond to our actual experience. So when we are exposed initially to teachings of Dharma, of truth, these teachings are going to clear our mind of wrong ideas. Of course, the most important one, as concerning self-realization, is going to be the idea to be a separate entity, the idea to be a person. This root idea is at the base of all ignorance that is veiling, creating a veil on our gaze to the world. It's actually shaping our word, giving our word a certain aspect that corresponds to the obscuration of consciousness that is at the moment present for consciousness in each and every of these forms. So this clearing of the wrong concepts is a very necessary step. We have been induced to believe to be something we are not. We are induced to believe to be a separate entity, and through the teachings of Advaita, non-duality, through Dharmic teachings, we are led to understand that our view of the world is distorted, and actually this ignorance is shaping our perception of the world, giving us the false impression to be a contraction inside the body-mind or the body-mind itself. Sometimes this longing for an explanation, this longing for an understanding is accompanied by an initial glimpse or satori, an initial shift of perception that maybe with no preparation of our side leads us to see that we are not what we believe to be. And only afterwards we start to collect understanding to explain to ourselves what we have been living. Sometimes these windows on another reality, on another dimension, so to speak, are not opening, but we have the strong intuition that the world is not just what we see. It's not just the way in which we have been told that it is. So this kind of inquiries are something that, especially for the Western mind, is particularly important. Unfortunately, Dharma cannot be learned on a book. It cannot be apprehended to the most beautiful words of any teacher. It is something that has to be experienced. And sometimes, as spiritual seekers, we know a lot. Maybe we know even too much. We start to mistake what we have been understanding with our actual experience of the world. And so, for instance, I'm sure that all the 100 or so people that are right now present in this classroom online, we all know that we are consciousness. I believe we all agree that this is the case. But if I ask you, are you sure not to believe to be what you think? You might say, of course, I am not what I think, but your actual moment by moment experience, your actual direct experience of life will be that you believe to be your own thoughts. You believe that the thoughts that are appearing as words in the mind or images or sensations in you, they are your opinion. They are your point of view. They are your truth. And so, as we grow in our path, as we walk on our journey, it could happen that this dichotomy, this distance between what we actually are experiencing and our understanding grows bigger. That's the moment in which, in our journey, is very important to let life to be the tester, to let life to be the ultimate guru, the ultimate teacher, that show us what is actually the quality of our life. The quality of our life, as we stay in this non-dual awareness, as we remain in our non-dual awareness, will be a quality of openness, in which we should see our judgments falling down one after the other and be replaced with discernment. Our immediate reaction to the world should be replaced, we should see them be replaced by compassion for ourselves when there is still ignorance, or others when we see that they are still trapped in their own reaction. We should see a sense of gratefulness emerging that allow us to take any difficult situation, sensation, experience, no more as something negative, but as a lesson, as an opportunity, because that light of life, the light of creation, is illuminating this obscuration of our consciousness. A bit like a stronger light shows better the movement of shadows on a wall, we're going to see better these patterns of ignorance. there is, if we stay in this non-dual awareness, we will see in our life a humbleness, a deep humbleness emerging, a deep capacity to see that we know nothing in reality. Everything we grasped as an idea, as much as beautiful it could appear, is nothing compared to the luminosity of, the grace of pure presence. So all these qualities I'm listing are qualities that we should see in our life. Sometimes instead, what we see is judgment, maybe judgment towards people that are not so aware, in our opinion. Maybe we call them fool, and we miss to see the foolishness that is still in us. Maybe we don't really see life as giving us important lessons, and we remain open to them. But we try to see as if there is something wrong in us that we should repair in the personality to create or manifest a better one. And as far as gratefulness and humbleness, maybe some pride and arrogance might arise in believing that we are arrived somewhere. Let's be clear, dear friends. This journey is about dropping in the heart, in the spiritual heart. This journey is about letting the mind descend in the heart and being purified by the heart, be enlightened by the heart. This journey is a journey that is going to making us very humble in the understanding that any beautiful spiritual construct that we created is in reality just a mental representation of something that is undescribable. As said, it's not that knowledge is wrong. Knowledge is like a nail that we are using to take out other nails. They are deep down in that plank of wood that is our mind. But the true understanding does not come from having informations, but from being this understanding. Letting ourselves be purified by this fire, yogic fire, in which the ego is going to be put in once we stop reacting to life or stopping our self-defense mechanisms with which we clothe ourselves and our experience. Where these ancient teachings like Advaita has been taught in the East, informations were not dished out, as much as we do it now, and even here now with me. But they were given just to the degree that the Shisha, the student, was able to embrace them with their own experience. You were led to come to your own direct understanding. And when this was done, maybe some words or a teaching was given to explain, to give clarity. But compared to Asian philosophy, we are incredibly intellectual. So the greediness of our mind asks us to know. So what I would really like to speak with you today in this introduction I just done, is the power of the heart. Sometimes we think that awareness is something to do with the mind. Sometimes we think that is about taming the mind or silencing the mind, where instead awareness is about abiding in the heart. Not the heart as an emotion or as a feeling, but the heart, the spiritual heart, as the center of awareness itself, as the center of and the source of all attention. Let's experience this a moment together as I'm explaining this. Let's come back to what I've been showing you at the beginning when we had that moment of meditation together. As you're sitting here with me, we can have our eyes open. You're going to see, let's choose an object that is in front of you. In my case, a little blanket that is on a little piece of furniture in the room in which I'm in. And the object I'm viewing has a color and a form. Just keep your attention on this object that you picked, not move around. See clearly as there is a sense of direction of the attention from you to the object. You are the viewer of this object. The object is describable. It's an object of time. It has a shape. It has a name. It has a color. If you could smell it or touch it, it would have a taste or a smell. Just remain with your attention there. Don't move your eyes. And now, as you sense this flowing of attention from you to the object, allow that flow of attention come back from the object to you. You are not only aware of the object, but also in this bidirectional attention, the attention is from the object to you. So feel this flow of attention from you to the object and from the object to you. Stay like this for a few moments. I suggest you not to move the eyes around, just remain on the object you picked and become aware as the attention comes from the object to you. Listen well to where your attention is landing. Is it your attention landing in your mind, in a thought, in a feeling, in an emotion? Or is, in your experience, this attention landing in a pool of awareness that has no center or beginning or end? Notice, as you become increasingly aware of the place where the attention is returning to, on how this pool of awareness is way more intimate than your mind, than your feelings, than your thoughts. The attention is coming back on you as awareness. And this is the heart. Remain here a moment more, aware of you. The attention comes from you to the objectivity of the word, is also returning back to its source. And as you are aware now of this place in you, gently close your eyes and just rest with this a moment. own experiences are happening in you. You are the heart of everything. You are the source of everything. And this is not something you know. This is something you are. It's not something you can learn or forget. This is your being. It's always here. Always already here. And gently you open again your eyes, but if you can, remain in this open attention. And before I go ahead with my explanations, I would like to know your feedback, as this is a living teaching that is made by the consciousness in all the people present here. And it has value as it has been experienced deeply. Please let your questions be solely, if possible, based on what I've been teaching or you have been experiencing. And from here, we can grow together. Knowing to be awareness and experiencing yourself as awareness are two totally different dimensions. The dimension of knowing is a dimension that is included by awareness. But knowing to be awareness is not equivalent to being aware of being awareness. Please see clearly, this is the last thing I want to say, that when your attention goes into the world, that's mind. And when the attention comes back to the source of attention, the mind comes back to the heart. And if the mind can remain in the heart, you will know everything as you. This is my explanation for now, and I'm very glad to listen from you, your feedback. The attention from an object, from awareness to the object, is a movement of the mind, as well as the returning of attention from the world to you. But the place, and this is the subtleties that I would like you to be aware, the place in which the attention is returning to, it's not the mind, is what we're talking about. Because being present to the world is not meditation. Meditation is when the being present comes back to presence itself. Yeah? I'm very happy to discuss this with you. This distinction is very important, as sometimes as spiritual seekers, we might believe that meditation is being present to the here and now, but what we will be engaged to is the subtle movement of the mind, where instead being aware of being aware is a place where the mind sinks in, melt into. And if you remain here as your being, in your being, then you are in a space of non-dual awareness. It's your being. Any movement, subtle movement or more gross, is an experience, is a movement of consciousness. It's Shakti, it's manifestation. It has a beginning, it has a duration, it has an end. But the space in which this beginning, duration, and end occurs is what we're talking about. its awareness is the heart. I hope this is intriguing you, or I want to really, I'm very happy to listen to your feedbacks of all the things I said. And if Susan wants to give the voice to the first one that raised their hand, I'm very happy to speak with you. And thank you for listening so far to all this.
Thank you, Shakti. I'm going to go with Veronique first because she raised her hand earlier and I lowered it while you were still speaking. So if you could unmute yourself, Veronique, and
Yes, I did.
Add a spotlight.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Shakti, for this beautiful experience. I was wondering, will my heart know if I experience being, or that it is the knowing out of the mind?
Any knowing is of the mind. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Yeah? We mistake knowing for being, because as Westerners, we are basing 90% or even more of our identity on what we know as the source of what we know. Yeah.
In the exercise, I looked at the candle behind you, which is burning.
I have been lighting it up for the wars that are happening currently in Ukraine and Palestine, Israel and Russia and Syria and Afghanistan, as is the light of truth that can enlighten us all.
Yes.
Thank you for noticing that.
Yes, I felt that was the reason, so that's why I choose it.
All right.
And when I did the exercise, my heart became very warm, and my being too. So I think my being got it.
Okay. May I suggest that as you were gazing the candle, that is actually, you know, a kind of practice that is done in some traditions, gazing the fire.
Mm-hmm.
You became aware of a sensation or radiance of love that comes from your being, but it's not your being. Because your being is not a sensation, it's more subtle than that. Does it make sense to you?
Yes, thank you.
Somebody, I cannot read comments, but somebody just said, red is saying is Diwali, is like the, you know, is the day, the celebration of the light of creation, the light that remains in the darkness when we are obscured by our ignorance. The light of truth shines into the darkness. And, you know, although we have other celebration from the light that is Christmas for Christians and Hanukkah for Jewish and so on, you know, something, you know, interculturally, we all celebrate light. Because the first religion on the planet was the sun. That is an external manifestation of the light of creation that we are. We believe to be a little creature of the planet, Earth. Instead, we are much more. And so we can remember our light. And maybe to come back to your question, you are feeling the radiance coming from your being. and that's beautiful, but it's not your being, because any experience is not ultimately you, even the most positive and beautiful one. But thank you for this invitation to look at the inner light in your heart.
Yeah, thank you too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Veronique. Rose, please, if you could unmute yourself.
Hello.
Shakti and everyone. Just to further deepen around that experience of letting the attention flow from me to the object, a cup here,
Yeah.
and then it flowing back. And I did actually experience it in my heart, the physical, but of course the spiritual heart of which you've been speaking.
Yeah.
And the clarification I'd like is further to Veronique, is you're saying that this radiance that I felt is actually not my being. And
emanation is, sorry to interrupt you, Rose, is the it's not that it's not your being, because everything is your being. I just want to be more clear. It's an emanation of your being, but it's not the essential truth.
so one doesn't try to attempt in that exercise to be the essential truth, but it's a step to just feel the radiance of that flow.
No. What I'm trying, first of all, is not an exercise in the sense that it's not meant to be repeated in time, because you would do it with the intention to get a result. And please look, even in that trying to get a result, see in that already the core of the problem, yeah? Because we want to obtain something that is an experience, assuming that yet another experience is going to give us back what we're looking for, yeah? As we were approaching with our attention, our being, you felt, and Veronique and probably other people, a sense of peacefulness, maybe a sense of gratefulness, a sense of warm radiance. But is the warmth of the sun. It's not like being the sun. As a creature, you're feeling the warmth of the sun. So, what I was trying to look at with you guys, and I'm still inviting you, of course, is that the place where the attention can return to, it's a place that is everywhere. It's being. I give you an image. If you want, close your eyes. As you see the image, be aware that is an image, so it's not the truth. Like the rain falling in the sea. The attention comes back to the source, melts with it, and recognizes that it has been always and only water. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you so much. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rose. Sylvia, please, would you like to unmute?
Okay. Can you, hello. Can you explain a little bit about meditation? I didn't quite understand when you talked about it earlier.
Yes, thank you for asking, because I think this is quite a tricky point where maybe many of us could tumble against. We might be led to believe by our own, ignorance, that meditation is about being present to the moment, being present to the here and now. But be present to the here and now is still a movement of the mind. And you can clearly see this, once again, I'm saying pick an object just, to show the obvious, yeah? But look at an object in your room or wherever you are in this moment. There is an attention, a being present to the here and now. This is an experience. Yeah. And it's not meditation. It's a quality of the mind. In the yoga tradition, Patanjali, maybe some of you know it, as a great teacher, has been, formalizing and collecting many of the yogic teachings, describes 5 types of mind. A mind that can be more tamasic, that has a bit the quality of the mud, is slow, is engrossed in manifestation, is lazy. A mind that is more registic, very violent, fiery, extreme, crazy. A mind that is distracted, 3rd type, that is wherever usually we are, yeah, hopping around a bit like a cricket to an object to another, the cell phones that we have with us all the time don't help us not to do that. We hop with our attention everywhere, and we are not for sure developing a single pointed mind that is way more desirable than a distracted mind. And then he says that there is a 5th type of mind, and is the mind that is returning back to awareness and is melted with oneness with everything. And it's emptying itself into the oneness. That's where meditation happens. But, so sometimes it can be because we didn't understand well the teaching. Sometimes it's because maybe the teachings are not so complete, But we might think that meditation is about silencing the mind or stilling the mind, or is about being present. For sure, when you are present to the moment, your mind, it's not hopping around, and it's a more desirable state. It's more pleasurable. Yeah. But it's not at all the extinction of you. You are still there, all intact, present. There is a sense of you being present, where instead, true meditation is the mind melting into awareness, so that you become conscious of a witnessing that does not belong to this dimension, that is beyond this dimension. And there is no mind. Your experience is non-dual.
I see. Thank you. That clears it up.
I'm very happy that you appreciate the difference, because in this being present, there is a knowing of the word as an objective experience, where instead, when the attention comes back to the source of attention completely, so we're not just perceiving a radiance, yeah, but we're penetrating that radiance and being burned by that radiance. Imagine a bit like Icarus flying, and being melted. It's flying with his wings of wax. We are like a moth, yeah, burned into the flame, in the light of truth. And in that there is no you. There is not a knowing of you and the word. The experience is non-dual. That's non-duality. That's true non-duality.
So always being aware of being aware.
Say it again.
So it's always being in the present moment.
Being in the present moment is a quality of a refined mind.
Okay.
It's not awakening.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And appreciating this difference comes from becoming aware that knowing is not being.
Mm. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Precious, this exchange with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hi. Hello, Melanie. Welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, my
Hello.
dear.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really loved everything I've heard. I have a question about going from knowing to being. So this is all new, this knowledge for me in the last couple of years. I've been reading, I've been very drawn to it, in particular to you and to David Hawkins, and there's Rupert Spira, and I've been reading and consuming and feeling a sense of elation and joy because it resonates so deeply. So it's all new to me in the last couple of years. So I do that, and I wonder, is that like consumption of knowledge a kind of escape because it feels so good to be reading it and learning it? But then I try to go about my life just being kind, trying to be present with my family, trying to, those are my two things, is like enjoy your work and be present with your family. Try to be kind and forgiving to everyone always, including myself. And in that experience, I've overall felt a great sense of joy and gratitude, awe, appreciation, love have been coming through. But I still am reactive. So there are things that happen and I feel tension sometimes. And the interesting thing is I've noticed lots of synchronicities, almost like I think it and then it happens. That's happened quite a few times. It's almost like that whole dream, the world is a dream. It almost, I see validation of that. So I don't know what you would recommend for me now that I have the knowledge, trying to live it by being kind and present, noticing things like awe, synchronicity. What should I do from here?
Well, as long as you don't realize, not understand, realize, yeah? It's not your experience to be this non-dual awareness. For sure, trying to be a good person is okay. It's a good thing because it will create positive karma on negative karma. Yeah, negative karma is the consequence of actions that has been created by the sense of being a person. So is coming from the contraction of separations, and this creates an effect in our life. Trace, speaking about greed, jealousy, hatred, anger, and all these qualities of what we could call the expression of the sense of separation. Yeah. But these positive qualities that are kindness, compassion, sincerity, that create a positive inclination to our way of living, are not comparable with a non-dual state of your being in which these karmic traces can be dissolved. It's like you have a bike, you're riding your bike, you're realizing you're riding in the wrong direction, you try to change direction and riding in the right direction. Yeah, you're trying to counteract negative comma with positive one. But meditation will stop the bike by dissolving the sense that there is somebody that is riding it. And it will dissolve the bike too, ultimately. When there is not going to be any more the necessity for you to embody, because all ignorance was present in you has been consumed. Okay? So, you have been collecting informations. Your mind has been informed. Because of the informations you have been receiving, you're trying to give a positive inclination to your mind. But, my dear, you're still in your mind. Or better, you believe to be in the mind. You believe to be the mind, and that's why you want to change it. My honest feedback, find a teacher that you trust, a teacher that seems to be radiating this, that your heart feels open to, that your mind feels inclined to, as much as possible, but mostly your heart. That's the most important, because your mind might be reactive sometimes to the teacher, and still your heart being happy to be with him or with her. And use it as a guide to experience this. We don't wake up reading books. I was reading a nice exchange between a great master that maybe some of you know, Bhagwan Nityananda of the Siddha Yoga tradition. Yeah, don't know if any of you know him. He has been the great guru of Muktananda that brought to the West the teachings of the Siddha. Yeah, and Muktananda was an avid reader. Yeah, he was going to his teacher, and every week he was reading different books and texts, and you know, he was a bit possessed. It was an addiction. He wanted to know, and he wanted to know more. He wanted to know more and more and more. And one day, Nityananda noticed this and says, you know, that's all dust, you know. And Muktananda said, but these are the Upanishads, you know, the sacred text of India. Yeah. Say, no, it's dust. Yeah. Because this is coming from the mind of somebody. Why, instead of filling yourself with somebody else's mind, you are not learning to meditate and read your own mind and rewrite different books afterwards? This is a beautiful comment. Why a living teacher can be more helpful than many books. Because, not because books are not beautiful. Somebody's saying, I feel the energy of books. For sure, if the teaching like this one I just expressed comes from a living experience of truth, there is a transmission that comes from books, not just a clarity. There is a shift, yeah. But a living teacher will correct you, while you can always close the book. A living teacher, if he's living from this realization, will be the space holder for you to remain rooted as you empty yourself of these contents. This is the way in which has been shown in the East, in Advaita, for thousands of years. If you don't want to look for a teacher, the best indication is let it come to you. Let life to show you what is somebody that you can stay with and absorb this from. The absorption, the transmission will not be from what they say. It will be from a connection in the heart. in the realization we are the same being. This has been the education for thousands of years. It's also possible to realize this with no teacher. It's just longer and more difficult because the traps in which we might fall are really very much. If we don't feel drawn to any teacher, keep on your seeking, be curious, follow the perfume, like a little butterfly, follow the perfume, feel, where your longing for truth is, drawing you. But when you're going to find that connection, honor it. In my experience, is very precious, very important. Because, like a video can be stopped, a book can be closed, the teachings can be interpreted. Advaita was not taught in books for thousands of years, but oral transmission for a reason. This is the reason. Yeah. So, I cherish very much your question, and I hope it arrives to you. Follow your intuition, follow your heart, and when you feel that your mind is full, brimful of infos, pass to your heart. Yeah. The information may be brought you where you are, but it will not lead you to realize your true nature. Because for their very nature, they are experiences. And you are not an experience. You are the absolute. You are Parabrahman. You see, even if just these 3 words, you are Parabrahman, you are the absolute, could remain with you in your heart as the only teaching, that would be enough. But the word distracts us very strongly. And unless we develop, the right attitude in which we choose truth, we are going to probably be led by the karmic tendencies that we have been developing for many lifetimes. That's my experience, and thank you for your question, Melanie. All my love to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. Marilyn, please, can you unmute yourself?
Hello.
Marilyn,
Do we know each other, Marilyn?
I don't know, but you have blown me apart, and I barely speak. I've never heard anyone explain the awareness going out and bringing it back, and that was quite. Oh. Oh man. There's a few things that you are so to the point, like there's such as closer. Like sometimes the teachings, there's this huge space or gap, and you're just, it's like, I don't know how to speak right now. Whew. I want to come to Sicily.
I don't teach in Sicily.
What's that?
I don't teach in Sicily. I have a center here, but these are only teachings for people that come since many years. You don't need to come to Sicily. I teach all over the world.
So the only question that arises is when you spoke about the expression of the sense of separation, which I understand. And, I've worked on all the things like the prior woman, I've done all that stuff for many, many, many years. And I understand that, but what still arises for me mostly is fear. And so it's interesting. Just having like this download, I don't know what to call it, but
I guess that's the only thing I want to ask about is what might be helpful to focus on when fear arises. I seem to have been able to surrender a lot of things, anger, judgment, but the fear arises still, not when I've had these awakening experiences when everything left and you wonder, oh, you're just wordless. It's just no time. So, but then when the contractions come back, it's generally fear. So I don't know, that's just wanting to be said.
Okay. So, well, my dear, I try to respond to you in the context of what I've been teaching, because what you're bringing up is wide, and I could speak to you for days about it. And, maybe we meet another times, in seminars and things, and we go deeper in these. But staying in the context of what is this topic, and to give you a reply that is useful for you in this moment, when you feel that you cannot stay with fear, you know that you are nourishing a knowledge of truth, but you're not abiding in the non-dual awareness. Yeah. Because your heart, that is non-dual, is where non-dual awareness is. Mm-hmm. Your heart is not afraid of anything.
Yeah, I know. I don't feel it now.
Your heart can stay with fear. Your heart can stay with grief, with anger, with any so-called negative emotion. Your heart can stay with anything, because your heart is everything. Yeah. Yeah. So when we are feeling that there is a resistance, in us towards an experience, either a sense of aversion or a sense of attachment, and the fear that, for instance, an experience might end, you can always come back to your heart, that it's not a feeling, it's not an emotion, it's not a physical organ, it's pure awareness at the source of your attention. And as much as you can stay with that sensation, you are going to meditate it. You are going to let the drop, another drop of you, come back to the ocean. So I'm aware that this reply is short, but it's correct. Yeah. So anytime that in your life you see that still fear is taking you, is making you mechanic, erratic, reactive, impulsive, full of vendetta, full of regrets or whatever, come back to your heart. Know your heart as your home. Mm-hmm. Know your heart as the, placelessness place where, the true self is. Mm-hmm. This is it. Don't approach your fears through listening the stories of your mind or its description of the fear. But rather take that fear as a crying baby in your arms and hold it in your heart.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Annie, please.
Hello.
Yeah. Namaste.
Namaste.
I have similar question than Marilyn, but with really what get me out of presence of my heart, but in a way what is physical pain, not not dull pain. This I can watch, but this very sharp pain really get me completely out somehow, and I feel again I am a body somehow. I'm someone. No, I am. That's really all time, because even emotion and okay, so sometimes I get caught, but I can easily go back and be, or at least said, if this is a big storm, but at least I can be in a witness position and let it not take me fully. Maybe sometimes it takes me, but not fully.
Yeah.
But physical sharp pain, I realize sometimes I am really at peace. I'm really into being, and then suddenly there's a physical pain with like a cycle taking me out of, and I don't know how to deal except running to get an aspirin. But
Okay. So thank you for your question. Physical pain can making us identify quickly with the body. Let's have a moment of experience together, so we see together where the body is, where you are. Close a moment your eyes. We close them together, everybody if they want. And listen to the body as a perceptual experience. Is a sensation, is a feeling. The body is not a solid object as the mind thinks. The body is an inner experience. Where are you in respect to this experience? You are actually the awareness that is all around it, above, side, in front, underneath, all around the physical experience of the body. You are. And as awareness, in this armless embrace, you holding the physical experience. From this space, it does not matter what the sensation is. You can be with it. You're not contained by the body. Rather, you're containing it.
I'm awake, but I don't know how to stop that it take me out of this.
Okay. Yes. Is when
it's with dull pain, it's not happening, but with this sharp pain, like a migraine or this kind of.
You have to be patient, because being rooted, so to speak, in this non-dual space, it's something that we are not used to so much. And so a strong experience will pull our attention. But in the moment in which you see that your attention has been taken, is because you are already out of the identification.
Mm.
You're not noticing the identification when you are identified. You're noticing the identification when you're out of it. Yeah. So be patient with you.
So how to catch yourself before to.
It's a question. I understand. It's a matter of a habit. It's a matter of rooting yourself more. Yeah. It's not easy not to be distracted by sharp pain. But know this, when you get distracted, there is nobody that is getting distracted.
There is
even when you are distracted, there is nobody who is distracted, because the remembering and the getting distracted are both experiences that are seen by awareness. So instead of focusing in not trying to be distracted, What I was trying to show you was clearly to see where the body is and notice from this space, oh, I'm forgetting. Oh, I'm being distracted. Don't try to do something. This will engage you again with the word and with the illusion. Rather remain here. This can help you. I can intuit that you are a senior practitioner, not a newbie. Yeah. So if this can be of support, please know that some of us receive physical taxing experiences like chronic pain, for instance. Mm-hmm. And because we are one with everything, you can offer that experience for those who are not able to stay with this pain as you are. So you can be consciously supporting those beings that cannot do it. It doesn't mean that you call more pain on you. Yeah, it means to the degree that you can stay with it, you're actually clearing the way for others. Maybe this can be an encouragement for you. Instead than going in the criticizing of you, a you that doesn't even exist, going into the love of offering. You understand? So your mind is not so busy.
In the love, offering the pain or something.
Yes. So your mind is not so busy in trying to, correct the you that doesn't exist. Yeah. But your mind is more busy in saying, I love you. I offer you my pain. Yeah. I offer you my ignorance. I offer you my struggle. You understand?
Yeah. Because I do it with the struggle. So yeah, maybe the pain is.
You can do it with everything, my dear.
But getting the pain of others, you have to know. I mean, I used to be a therapist, so you have to know to let it go too. Otherwise, it's
Life is
you become really loaded.
Life is a stream of experiences, is a river. Some passages are spiky and itching and painful and sharp. Some passages are soft and sweet. Learning to stay with all of them, it's grace. I'm sure you can.
Yeah, it's again to accept what is, no? Whatever is what is.
Yes. Thank you.
Pain is still my challenge, but I understand.
Thank you. You're a traveler of truth. Thank you.
And happy Diwali in India is Diwali today. There is a lot of light everywhere.
Some of my students in India have been writing me, saying to me, Happy Diwali. So happy Diwali to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Vani. And Lindsay, please.
Hi. Hi. Thank you so much for that exercise. I thought that was great. And just the wording of it and that sort of like whole area of awareness between you and the object. That was really cool. I was playing with it afterwards and of course trying other objects and then trying the same exercise with people. And it's like some people I can see the awareness coming back, and it's almost like dropping below the words and listening from the heart. But then other people, like that whole, I couldn't do it at all. I couldn't see the awareness coming back. I just wondered if you could comment on that with different people.
I wouldn't call it exercise, and I think this can be confusing because it's not an exercise. It's not something you do.
Yeah.
It's actually something that we can be all the time. Yeah. Because if you try to do it having an intent as an object, you're creating a you that has an intention. So you cannot go into meditation. It becomes a mental habit. Yeah. It's not an exercise. Meditation is not an exercise. Meditation is a way of being. So when you're noticing that it's hard for you to let go of the object that you identified with the judgment, you know, or with the feeling that you don't like that the object is emanating, you know, whatever, yeah? For you is emanating it. It's not say that it's already emanating there, but it resonates like that in you. You are becoming aware of your ego. And so if you think that the experience that is difficult for you is created by the object you're seeing, you're going to remain in a dualistic experience with it. If you can notice that the awareness in you is simply aware of everything, and the awareness in you is, you know, all the time the source of your attention and the place where the attention can come back consciously into, then this is no more an exercise, as you say, but is your way of being. And becoming aware of the things that are not apparently flowing for you is an excellent pointer to where the ego is still stuck. I hope this clarifies a little bit.
I guess there's just no awareness of ego.
There is no awareness of ego unless you are actually feeling the sense of separation. So you are becoming aware of your sense of separation. You see, we might think we know our ego, but thinking to know the ego and actually, you know, becoming aware of the sense of separation are two different things. You see, we think I know my ego because I've done therapy or whatever, yeah. We become aware of these, let's say, more superficial experiences. But are we actually tasting the sense of separation of the ego? Probably not. Unless we are in this non-dual awareness, unless we are meditating the world around us. So what I'm trying to show you is not an exercise, is the root of meditation. Is it more clear now?
Not really, because the term exercise or being, or it's just relating sensation of
I know, but when you say exercise, the reason why I'm stressing on the word, when you do exercise, it feels like you are doing it. Yeah? And you need to repeat it to get it better. Is that okay? Is that real, right for you?
No.
No. Okay. When you say I exercise, it's because I want to do something to get the result. Do you agree?
Sure. I guess I just don't see it. I called it an exercise because it was something you brought our attention to. It's
okay, great. Let's put aside the word exercise. It's meditation, yeah? And when you met the difficulties with certain objects, is because there is shown your ego, yeah? Your sense of separation as a perceptual experience. Is this more clear now?
I guess so. Yeah, just wondering why that it would, I guess then if you're going to call that ego, why would it step in sometimes and not be there other times?
Because certain objects are reflecting you back your sense of separation and other not. You're not triggered by everything, right? Thanks God. You know, there are things or situations that trigger us and there are things that are not triggering us, correct?
Sure. I guess there's not even an idea of triggering though. It's like
Well, that's exactly what I was trying to say before. We are not even usually aware of our ego. We are aware of the reaction, psychological reactions of our mind, yeah? And we think we know our ego, but instead we are not actually experiencing the sense of separation that is the ego. We are just looking at the mental contents of it. So what you just touched before is actually the edges of your sense of separation. That is great, because when you become aware of them, that's the place where they can be dissolved. Is it more clear now? A little
Yeah,
bit.
I don't have anything to do around that, I suppose. So
Okay. What I'm trying to say to you is that what you notice is very precious.
yeah.
Yeah. Don't box it in the idea that it's an exercise, because that's wrong and you understood it. It's meditation. Yeah. So meditation is awareness, being aware of awareness. It's not mental gymnastic. It's the attention coming back to the heart. Yeah. So as you have been guided to look at what in you is receiving the experience, you notice that there are objects with which your attention seems to be glued, stuck. Yeah. And you can't let the attention coming back to you.
Yeah.
Those experiences are showing you where your ego is. This is precious, because unless we become aware of them, they cannot be dissolved. And it's very different from viewing our personality from a psychological point of view. Do you appreciate the difference? Do you see the difference? I can say my ego is angry and jealous and whatever, feeling unworthy. Yeah. Yeah. That would be a mental knowledge of your ego, correct?
Yeah.
It's different when you said, I feel a sense of contraction. Correct? That's the difference between knowing and experiencing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I can see there is much more that we could say to each other. Maybe another time, if you want, you guys, you can find me on the internet. And what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to give you, and is, I think our time is almost finished, Susan. Yeah. Or is finished. So I need to go. What I'm trying to say is that it's very precious that we understand that all process of meditation, any real spiritual practice, is in the heart. Not here. Here. Let your mind come back to the heart and abide here. I thank you, everybody. I'm not aware of exact timing. If there is time, Susan, for like 2 minutes salutation with the legal meditation.
Yes, we have a couple of minutes remaining, Shakti, for you to finish up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So I invite everybody. Sorry, watch the time. So I invite everybody to close your eyes. And I thank everybody for the question. I'm sorry I couldn't reply to everybody. Just close your eyes. Let your attention drop in the heart. Remain here, listening your heart, the source of all attention. The only place where you can be truth and not just knowing the truth. Jai Gurudev. Thank you. Thank you, Susan and Bill. I don't know if you're still here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shakti. Thank you.
Thank you and bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. The next session is at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, either with John Mundy or Amoda Ma. So enjoy that when it comes. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Shakti. Namaste.